Wonderful. I was just, as you were talking, I was just wondering, you had mentioned you wrote American Veda 12 years ago, and this was before
Almost 13.
almost 13. And, it really has been in recent years that we see the landscape, the theoretical landscape changing, concepts of social justice coming to the forefront, concepts of how colonization appropriated so much of the knowledge and everything like that from not only India, but all over the world. And so I'm wondering, what was the reception to American Veda 12 years ago when a lot of this was not yet mainstream?
First, it was more mainstream than you may realize, and that's one of the reasons I wrote the book. But because there was mainstreaming, but it was subtle and often invisible.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I wrote the book, there were yoga studios on every street corner, and physicians and psychotherapists were advising people to learn meditation practices. When I first was exposed to these teachings, when I was a student in the 60s, that would have been ridiculous. That would have been unthinkable for mainstream health practitioners to recommend something as weird in their eyes as sitting with your eyes closed and intoning a mantra or something like that. They would have dismissed it all as hippie nonsense and beatnik nonsense, and they did. When I first got involved with these things, I was dismissed as just another counterculture weirdo. But now these things are mainstream, and they were mainstream when I wrote about it in American Veda. But people don't often realize the origins of these things and how it all came to be. What has changed is it's just more mainstream now. I mean, now that COVID is over, and I'll wager the next time a globally popular guru like Amaji or Sadhguru or Sri Sri Ravi Shankar, next time they come to America and have a public speech, you won't even be in the newspaper. Whereas in the past, that would have been big news. It would have been, people would have made a big deal of it. Yeah. So all that, but I'll tell you what has changed. Certain trends that I wrote about in American Veda have magnified. So, for example, the data on people who call themselves, how people identify in their religious or spiritual lives. Fewer and fewer people, especially young people, claim an exclusive identity with a traditional Western religion. Mm-hmm. The culture is more seekers. Scholars call it questing instead of nesting. So instead of membership in something, there's a genuine spiritual quest. This business of people saying they're spiritual but not religious, that's more than a quarter of the population. And among young people, it's even more. People not wanting to be limited, people searching for experience and truth beyond the borders of what they were brought up in. That would be impossible. It would be unthinkable if the Dharmic teachings, and I include Buddhism in that, had not gained a foothold in America.